We've wrapped up the John Deere finals of the Super Stakes Open Division winner, and it's been Monty Buntin with Highbrow Jackson. And this has been a position you've been in before, where you came into the first set, had a great run with Highbrow Jackson, and then you had to wait it out. How did it feel this time?
Yeah, it was certainly, you had to sweat it out. There's some really good runs. Nathan had a really good run that scared me pretty good, and there was a lot of good horses in there, for sure.
Now, you worked the center of the arena most of your run. Your third cow seemed to bring you a lot of pressure. Kind of describe your run for us today.
We went down there. We had a list of cows that we really liked. I had just as about as good a help as you can have, and Gavin Jordan and Russ Westfall, Michael Cooper, and Morgan Cromer were turning me around. And the first cow, I got to remember back what we cut first. Yellow Bramer cow, I think, a gold cow. And that was a cow that Gavin really liked, and it was right up top, and we walked right up there and cut it, and just like we wanted to, it stayed right there. And then came back, and I was going way too fast, and I turned around, and I remember Gavin saying, slow down, and I said, I'm trying. And he just kind of laughed at me in the corner, but I turned around for the red mod, and it was right in the middle in a good spot. And I was just going to kind of ease it up there, and Russ said, you got it in the spot, you better go. So I kind of came trotting right up there, and it just worked out just as good as it could be. And that cow ended up being really good. And when I turned around, I had like a minute left on the clock. And so I got a little nervous right there, and trying to figure out what to do. And I'm third in the herd, and I can't find a single cow that I wanted to cut. So I walked really deep into the herd and standing there, and Gavin's like, just hang on, let's find your cow. And we turned around, and a red top yellow cow that I didn't really like, but Westfall told me it was good, and I told him I don't like that cow. And it was the only thing on that edge that that presented itself on a cow we knew. And so we walked up there, and it cut good, and it was a great cow. As always, Westfall said it was going to be good. It was probably going to be good. So, I just kind of went on what he told me, and the horse was just fabulous. That horse is just, I get a little carried away riding him probably, and I was probably trying to override him, but he's just so smart.
Well, when you competed at the Futurity with this horse, it came out that you were 21 years old, and everybody was a little bit surprised at your youth in the event. And you're here with your wife, Tessa. Y'all have been married for 5 years. Do the math. And, as a young man in this sport, having come out of California, a lot of terrific horsemen have come out of California. Why the sport of cutting, and why so young, do you think?
It's a bit of a long story, probably too long for this, but I went to work really young for my first cutting horse training when I was 13. I went to work for Salvador Cabral, and that's kind of what kicked me off into the cutting. And he kind of got me off to a good start. And then, to make a long story short, I wound up working for Tim Smith. That's how I got to California. And him and his wife Diane have been just as good as they could be. Anything I needed or trouble I was in or whatever, just been a phone call away, and that's really helped us out a lot. And I don't know, I worked for him for a year and 6 months somewhere in there or whatever, and then he set me up with a real good job, and the rest is kind of history, I guess. I always liked cutting, didn't ever know anything about it until I went to work for Salvador Cabral. But it was just sort of something. As soon as I dove in head first. That's all I wanted to do, and it's all I will do. And never had a real job, so I can't go back to really working now.
Tessa, as a wife to a professional, how does this work with your family, and as a husband and wife team on this? I know you lope horses for him sometimes. How do you see your future going forward?
Well, I'm pretty blessed with the family and friends that I have. They understand that this is kind of what comes first right now. And I just plan on staying right beside him and doing it myself as we go along. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's pretty blessed to wake up and do this every day. Couldn't ask for.
Well, that's it for the John Deere Open finals. Monty Buntin with his wife Tessa. Perhaps a future for our sport right here.